Hi guys, and welcome back for another fly tying tutorial. What you see in the vise is a Posh woolly bugger. So without further ado, let's get into it. What you see in the vise then is a Hanak H970 barbless hook. This one's at size 8, it's on a heavy wire and it's in black nickel. Coupled with that I have a 3.8 brass bead, which has obviously been painted chartreuse. The thread I'm going to be using today is from Simplify. It's the classic waxed thread, and as you can see it's black. Now before I came on camera I've already added some wax. So what I'm going to do is push my bead right up to the eye and get several wraps in. Now I like to make a big bump at the front here just to stop the bead moving about on the shank. It just annoys me, so I like to secure that in place, and then I can get a loose bed of thread down on the shank. It doesn't need to be particularly tidy, and what I'm going to do is bring my thread back up to where the bump is on the hook, or a barb if you're using a barbed hook. Then I can come in and take away my excess. Now at the back it's got a long marabou tail, as you've seen. What I like to do is build a little bump of thread, and this just prevents tail fouling at the hook point. Now some people like to just come in behind once they've tied it on and get a wrap underneath. I think this is a better way of doing it, but you can decide for yourself. Okay, I've brought my thread back up towards the front of the fly, and the first thing I'm going to do is take a pinch of comp candy. This is the Blackjack Marabou. I've already got a feather out the packet, and what I want to do is take from my thumbnail to my thumb knuckle with the first one, and I'll just take that away. Now, just over my waist bin, I'm going to take away the white bits, and then I can dress it up to the fly like so. Try and keep it on top of the shank as you're going, and then just stop your thread where your bump was. That's okie dokie. Now I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle, and I'm going to be using some trout line, and this is the streamer hair hackle, and it's like a sort of gold silver mix. Now I've taken a little bit out of the packet, and when I took it out of the packet I gave it a little lick. It's maybe 5 or 6 different strands, and I want that approximately on my side just shy of the length of the marabou. I don't want it poking out the back, so I'm going to catch that in a couple of loose turns just to get it into place. And then I'll bring it round onto your side, like so. And once I've got that in place, I'm going to come in with my scissors. I'm not going to cut it straight. I'm going to use my scissors to just rip it away. Lick the thumb and forefinger of your left hand. Get it all slicked back. Looks okay. Then again, back to the Blackjack Marabou. I'm going to take the same measurement, thumbnail to thumb knuckle. And again, just over my waist bin, I'm going to remove the white bits where I've ripped it away from the stem, and then dress it up and add it onto the body. Again, try and keep the marabou just pinched up on top of the shank. And once that's in place, you can come in with your thumb and forefinger and just tidy up any of the loose ends that you don't want. Then once more, damp down your fingers and get everything streaked back. Just helps with keeping it all tidy. Next then I'm going to add my rib, and what I'm using is some wire. This is the hot green, it's from Simplify. it's a 0.2mm wire. I've already got a piece laid out ready. I'm going to just dress that down my side, full length of the body, and I'm going to catch that in. And then I can come back up to just where the tail begins. Okay, so I'm not going to leave it like this, obviously. I'm going to use some dubbing. I'm going to use some ice dubbing, and the first one I'm going to take is the black. Should have got some of that out of the dubbing dispenser already. But this dubs on really easy, and if you just keep some in your hand, if you need more, you can always add. So I'm going to come up the length of the body now. Again, just adding a bit of dubbing as I go. And bring that all the way up, just shy of the bead I want this. So I'm going to just tidy that up a little bit. That looks okay. Don't be worried about any sort of loose strands. We can tidy that up at a later time. Next, I'm going to add the hackle, and what I'm using is this, it's a grizzle cape, and it's been dyed black. I've already selected a feather that I want to use from the cape, and you've got to decide what size you want the hackle. I want it fairly big, so I'm going to strip it back with my thumb and forefinger to that point, and I'm going to leave a couple of millimeters just to tie it in. Now, before I do this, I'm just going to add an extra little bit of wax to my thread. Once I've done that, then I can lay up my tag and just catch that into place. 3 or 4 turns should do the job. And then initially, my first turn, I'm going to bring round twice, so it's almost on top of itself. Nice bushy bit at the front. And then approximately 3mm distance apart on your turns. Bring it all the way back, and you'll bring it to where your wire meets it. Now, I did get a tip off a viewer that said the best way to do this is to chase the hackle round. Apparently I've been doing it wrong all these years, so I'm going to give this a go. So I've got that tag caught in, and I'm now going to bring my rib up through the fly. Now, as you can see, the green, the hot green, really does stand out against the black hackle and the black base on the body. Gives it a great effect. Now, the woolly buggers are a fantastic fly for this time of year. The fish are starting to slow down a bit. I live in the south of England, and we've had our first frost now, so everything's really cooling down, and these sort of flies, fished very slowly, will always score at the small still waters. So definitely worth getting a few in your box. Now, before I go on to the next bit, I'm going to just remove my excess hackle. And let's have a look. That's looking pretty good. Now, to finish this Posh woolly bugger off, I'm going to use some, again, this is the Glister Dub from Simplify, and I'm going to be using some of the mint. It's an unusual colour, but it does finish the fly off nicely. So I'll just get a little bit of that onto my thread. Again, this stuff, it dubs on really easy, and that's what I like about it the most, actually. So get a little bit onto your thread. You don't need much. I've dubbed on probably 2 inches, and what I want to do is just bring all my hackle back out the way, don't want to catch any of the hackle in. And then I can bring that round. Now, to finish this fly, it's best to get either a little bit of super glue onto your thread, or I'm using some UV resin here. And the reason for that is I want to try and just get as much of the thread in behind the bead as I can. Now you're going to have a little bit of this showing, but you want to try and keep it to a minimum. Pull it tight, not tight enough as you're going to snap your thread. Then remove your waste. Come in with your UV torch. I mean, I would really fish this fly on its own, on a floater or a midge tip, something like that. But if you wanted to fish it as a team, you can always put some small hare's ears in above it. Now, just to titivate it up, we can come in with a dubbing brush and just pull out some of the body fibres and some of the mint that we tied in at the end there. And there you have a very effective small Stillwater pattern. Now the black and green is a superb colour combination for cold weather. Give it a go, let me know how you get on in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you all next time.